welcome to the August 4th, 2021 regular meeting of the Gary Common Council. As is our custom, we'll begin with prayer by Councilman at Large Ron Brewer.
Shall we pray? Eternal God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your many blessings that you restored upon us, oh God. Lord, we ask that you will bless us in the midst of this meeting, oh God. Bless us with the knowledge and the strength right now, oh God, to do the work that we have been appointed, oh God. Lord, we ask that you will bless every resident of this city that's hearing our voices on tonight. Bless them, oh God, in health. Bless them in strength, oh God. And Lord, even bless them in wealth, oh God. We ask this blessing in your son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Councilman Brewer. Our parliamentarian, Councilman Brewer, will now lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Brewer. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins.
Here.
Councilman Brewer.
Here.
Councilwoman Brown. Councilman Brown.
Present.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Here.
Councilman Lay. Councilman Lay.
Let's pass.
Councilman Weatherspoon. Councilman Williams. Councilman Lay.
Present. Somehow I was knocked off. Present.
Councilman Weatherspoon. Councilman Williams. President Godwin.
Present.
Mr. President, there are 7 present, 2 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With 7 members present and 2 absent, we have a quorum to conduct the business of the Gary Common Council. Council members, before you are the minutes of our most previous 2 meetings, a special emergency meeting and our last July regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of our special emergency meeting?
So move, Mr. President.
Mr. President, you do not have the,
you do not have the,
no.
Okay, so we will only do the minutes of our
July 20th.
meeting, July 20th meeting. Is there a motion to approve said minutes?
So move, Mr. President.
It's been moved by Councilman Brewer and seconded by Councilwoman Brown. Any questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins.
Yes.
Councilman Brewer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown. Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Lay.
Yes.
And President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 7-0.
With a vote of 7-0, the minutes of our July 20th, 2021 meeting are approved. Madam Clerk, when do we anticipate getting the minutes from our special emergency meeting? I think that was July.
That was July 30th after
right.
after the packages had already went out. They'll be ready for your next packages.
Okay, thank you very much. This time we will have our council pending ordinances and resolutions on first reading.
CPO 2020-55, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petition Bianca Jones, 4133 East 11th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. Property at 4133 East 11th Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
Planning and Development.
CPO 2021-56, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petitioner Bianca Jones, 1324 East 39th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. Property at 1324 East 39th Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
Planning and Development.
CPR 2021-09, a resolution of the Gary Common Council approving and accepting the transfer of a tower ladder truck from the City of Valparaiso Fire Department, sponsored by Mayor Jerome A. Prince, City of Gary.
Public Safety.
Mr. President, ends assignment of pending ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Brewer.
Mr. President, the Planning and Development Report CPO 2021-55. I approve this report out on first reading. Councilwoman Atkins.
Yes.
Councilman Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, a majority of the Planning and Development Committee has approved CPO 2021-55 on first reading. Mr. President, the Planning and Development Committee had before it CPO 2021-56. I approve this for reporting out on first reading. Councilwoman Atkins.
Yes.
Councilman Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, majority of the Planning and Development Committee has approved CPO 2021-56 on first reading. Mr. President, the Public
Councilman
Safety Committee had before CPR 2021-09. I approve this for reporting out before the council. Councilwoman Atkins.
Yes.
Councilman Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, majority of the Public Safety Committee has approved CPR 2021-09.
Councilman Brewer.
Mr. President, I would like to report out on first reading CPO 2021-55, CPO 2021-56, and also Public Safety would like to report out CPR 2021-09.
Thank you, Councilman Brewer. We will now begin with our special and select, and I'll open by stating that I, a couple weeks ago, sent an email to the clerk requesting an update of when we would have our recodification. And I did receive a communication back from her attorney, Mr. Jewel Harris, and he informed me that that process is already underway, and that we will be meeting soon to discuss the status of that process and hopefully getting that done, because we've passed a lot of laws in the last 11 years or so. So it'll be good to have that all properly codified. And I want to thank the clerk, I guess, Deputy Clerk Reynolds. Please convey my thanks for helping us move forward with that process. Other members for special and select?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Atkins.
thank you. I just wanted to make the public aware of a couple of things that are happening in the 4th District. This upcoming Saturday, there will be a back to school fair happening at Frable Park. It will take place August the 8th from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. I do want to commend the young lady who has taken the charge of creating this particular event, Amari Ferguson. She's done a great job of connecting a lot of community partners. There will be a 3-on-3 tournament there. She has an abundance of vendors. The youth will be displaying their particular talents, so she has acts who will be performing throughout the day. As well as they will be doing haircuts and I think braiding activities for those students who are going back to school in the upcoming weeks, as well as giving away specific school supplies. So Amari, I want to commend you for your efforts of doing something positive for our community and also hosting it within the 4th District. Again, that is this upcoming Saturday at Frable Park from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our Garrett Youth Council, as you guys recall, we did swear in 8 members to our Garrett Youth Council this past April, and they have been very active and on the move. They too will be hosting a back to school event that will take place on Saturday, August the 14th. Their event time frame is from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. and it will be hosted at the Diamond Center event space, which is located adjacent to our Railcat Stadium. So we want to come out and support them. I want to extend an invitation to all of my colleagues to jump on board and support our youth and specifically our youth council members and their activity. And they will also be hosting a community cleanup effort during the month of September. And I will present that information and ask for volunteers to sign up and support that effort as well. The 4th District Summer Bazaar will be taking place on August the 28th. That particular event is an opportunity for our small businesses and entrepreneurs nested right here within our community to get visibility. And so there is no vendor fair, but we are looking for you guys to sign up and participate and network within the community. It will take place at 21 East 5th Avenue, which is right off of 5th Avenue and Broadway on the east side of the street. If you are interested in participating as a potential vendor, or if you just want to be there to promote your business, please reach out to the Gary Common Council and connect to my executive assistant, who is Ms. Empress Franklin. The number to the Gary Common Council is 219-881-1315. Lastly, I do want to note that the 4th District did host their most recent community forum, and it was interesting to say the least. It took place this past Thursday at Reed Park. I do want to thank members of the executive branch leadership team, AJ Bittner, as well as Greg Jenkins, our executive director of redevelopment, as well as our director of planning, respectively, for supporting that particular meeting. And also Terrell Bonds, who's the executive director of Gary Housing Authority, who is definitely our community partner within the 4th District. I do want to thank each and every one of you for supporting that initiative. We did follow up. We did have one point of action that I spoke about last Thursday was that I was going to do a ride around within the district with a code enforcement officer. And so I also want to thank Officer Robert Smith for taking me alongside with him this past Tuesday. We started around 7:30 and was together for a couple of hours, riding around the district and also noting violations. And so I do want the community members to know that the code enforcement team is doing their best, and they are very well aware of those problem areas that was mentioned in our meeting on Thursday. And I will maintain our connection to them to make sure that we continue to have visibility within the 4th District. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Atkins. Other members for special and select?
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell.
good evening. I have several announcements. The first announcement is boards and commissions would like to make a motion to appoint Anthony Manuel to the Transportation Board effective immediately.
You need to unmute Councilman Brown. Unmute.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the name.
Anthony Manuel,
Anthony Manuel.
yes,
I'll second the motion.
thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell and seconded by Councilwoman Atkins to appoint Mr. Anthony Manuel to the Gary Public Transportation Board. Any questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins,
Yes.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes,
Councilman Lay,
Yes,
President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, voted 6 yes, 1 abstention.
With 6 votes in the affirmative and 1 abstention, Mr. Anthony Manuel is appointed as a council representative on the Gary Public Transportation Board. Congratulations, Mr. Manuel. We look forward to working collaboratively with you. Councilwoman Caldwell.
yes. President Godwin, I have announcements for 2 meetings in the 5th District community forums. The first is scheduled for Thursday, August the 12th, and our special guest will be Alethea Barrett from Horizon Bank, Anthony Manuel from First Financial Bank, and Lauren Lyons from Chase Bank. I would love for everyone to come out and listen to the information that they have to help you with your finances, whether it's applying for loans, scholarships, school tuition, and everything else. So please come out and listen to, this is Thursday, August the 12th at 5:30 via Zoom. For more information, you can contact the council office. And our next community forum is scheduled for that following Monday, August the 16th at 5:30. And our special guest will be Mayor Jerome Prince of the City of Gary, Rachel Morgan Caesar, the Director of General Services, and Mildred Glenn, the Director of Code Enforcement. I get many calls, and these are the 3 people that can answer the questions that I'm getting asked. So please, Monday, August the 16th at 5:30 via Zoom. Also, I have one more tentative meeting that we have a company, Viking Transportation. They're located in Griffith, and they're interested in coming to the 5th District. So right now, I'm tentatively planning a meeting, and it will be in person. So just as soon as I get all that information together, and for the council, I have sent out an email, and you all can view it. Because Councilman Dwight Williams of the 6th District isn't here tonight, he has a couple of events going on in the 6th District, and I would like to share them. The 6th District has a community forum August the 19th, which is Thursday at 6 o'clock via Zoom and at the Glen Theater. And his special guests are Chief Brian Evans, Gary Police Department, Arlene Colvin, Director of Community Development, Rachel Morgan Caesar, General Services, AJ Bittner, Executive Director of Redevelopment, Carol Purtle, Deputy Director of Redevelopment, Cedric Kirkendall, Demolition Coordinator, Brandon Hickle, Code Enforcement, and Ola Morris, Neighborhood Block Club. So for more information on that, you can contact the council office. And the last for the 6th District is First Responders Fair. This will be Friday, August the 6th at 5 to 9 at Pittman Square, 300 East 51st Avenue in Gary. Free food, music will be provided by DJ Caesar, and there will be fireworks. Valuable health information will be shared. Please come out. And this is with Oscar Martinez, the Lake County Sheriff, and Dwight Williams, Councilman of the 6th District. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell. Other members for special and select?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Brown?
I'd like to extend my sincerest condolences to our Director of Recycling, Maddie Williams, the loss of her husband, Aaron. I think he will be funeralized on Monday at New Hope Baptist Church. And so I'd like to extend my sincerest condolences to the entire Williams family. A group of us had an opportunity to visit the Zurich, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, trucking on Monday. And we will have another meeting. And when we get the date settled, I will let everybody know what the date is. But when we get the date settled, we'll let everybody know what it is, and then we'll move forward from there. There were some people who were really excited about it, and some people were kind of not too excited. So we will talk about it when we have our next community forum. And I don't have a date for it yet. So when we get the date for the next community forum, I will let everyone know. But I certainly want to thank those people who were kind enough to take time out from their schedule to go with us over to the Zurich trucking this past Monday. I'd like to thank Jeremiah King from Redevelopment. He was kind enough to go with us as well. And so we'll move on from there. We'll see how it goes, and we'll move on from there. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Other members for special and select? Well, I will just, if there's no one else, I will just announce that the St. Mary of the Lake Church in the 1st District, but serving obviously the whole city of Gary, is having a parade as well as a Festa Italiana on this Saturday, August the 7th, 2021. The parade will begin at 3 p.m. It will start at 3rd and Lake Street and travel south to Miller Avenue, then east to St. Mary's parking lot. There will be an all-you-can-eat spaghetti dinner and live music featuring 6 bands. The tickets are $15. They play a vital role within our community, not solely as a religious organization, but they also have a food bank, soup kitchen, and so forth, where they serve the people of our city. So we certainly want to support them. I want to thank all the participants in our last First District community meeting who came out, the Gary Community School Corporation, our Calumet Township trustee, Kimberly K. Robinson, Ms. Deb Backus, who discussed road dieting on Grand Avenue and a new bicycle pathway initiative. And we had a very good conversation. And also we had our city engineer consultant to talk about some of the projects that are happening with the South Shoreline and in other areas of the district. We're going to follow up on September 16th. September 16th. I know that's a ways off, but save the date, and it will be Infrastructure Day in the First District. And we'll be focused on all of the projects in terms of the schools, Etna, Nobel, Wirt, what's happening with them, what are the plans for them, as well as all of the construction projects that are currently going on. So September 16th, 2021 will be our Infrastructure and Development Day. Any other members for special and select?
Mr. President, I forgot something.
Oh, no
I
problem.
forgot
Go ahead.
We have a press release from the Gary Chamber of Commerce. Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana president will address the chamber luncheon. The ever popular Gary Chamber of Commerce monthly luncheons are returning at the beautiful new Hard Rock Casino, 5400 West 29th Avenue in the Council Oak Steakhouse. We're kicking things off on Monday, August 9th at 12 noon with our special guest presenter, Matt Schufert, who is president of Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. Space is limited, so make your reservations early. You don't want to miss out on the inaugural Gary Chamber monthly luncheon being held at the fabulous new casino location. The meeting luncheon is open to all interested parties. Networking starts at 11:30 a.m. The cost is $25 per person. Reserve your seats today. $25 will be invoiced for no-show RSVPs. You can call the chamber office at 219-885-7407, and sponsorships are available. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And let me just quickly add, I wanted to publicly apologize to Attorney McCain and maybe even Attorney Pohl related to a statement I made maybe last month or so related to the notices to be given out to the gas station owners related to our already existing public bathroom requirements. And now that we've added penalties to that. So I do want to publicly acknowledge they did mail those letters out, I believe, last fall. I do want to make sure that we follow up in January when we get ready for the business license to be renewed, that we're actually enforcing that ordinance as it relates to those who have bathrooms, making sure that they are clean and accessible. Okay. Any other members for special and select? All right.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Atkins.
I'm sorry. I do want to make notice to the council as well as to the public that this upcoming Friday, we do have an opportunity for our voices to be heard related to the redistricting that is happening across the state. There is a community meeting that is happening, a public hearing, I should say, that is taking place Friday, August the 6th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. It will be hosted at the Ivy Tech campus in Valparaiso, Indiana. So it is, I want to make note that unfortunately, there was no opportunity for a meeting to take place in Lake County, but it is in fact happening in Valparaiso this Friday. If you are interested in participating and need transportation, there are community organizers who are leading the charge related to that. So you can reach out to the Urban League as well as to some of our state legislators, Senator Eddie Melton, as well as State Representative Vernon Smith, of course, our State Representative Reagan Hatchard as well, and then our representative from the Gary Teachers Union. So I'm sure Ms. Gleneva Dunham will be a good contact for that as well. They are meeting at 1:30 p.m. at the Gary's Teachers Union, and they will depart at 2 o'clock with a scheduled arrival time at Valparaiso at 2:30. And so they are coordinating transportation. You can also contact Jeremiah King at 219-951-2348. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Atkins. Council pending ordinances and resolutions on third and or final reading.
CPO 2019-65, 9305, an ordinance establishing a community benefits agreement sponsored by Rebecca Wyatt, Councilwoman of the First District.
Councilman Brewer,
Mr. President, I move to table this ordinance here, CPO 2019-65 at this time.
is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Brewer and seconded by Councilwoman Brown to table CPO 2019-65/9305. Questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, roll call. And let me just be clear, if I may, that this does not eliminate, I know there's those from the public watching, our existing ordinance related to the community benefits agreement. We know there's litigation involved. This was an attempt to amend that ordinance in order to make, I won't use the word moot because Councilman Lay is going to get me, but to make that litigation pointless. But in any event, we will, I want to be clear, we're not getting rid of anything. It just means that the last law that was passed as relates to this will stand. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins,
Yes.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
yes,
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
No.
President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 6 yes, 1 no.
With 6 yeas and 1 nay, CPO 2019-65/9305 is tabled.
CPO 2021-49, an ordinance amending ordinance number 8831 to include requirements for armed security guards to certain establishments between dusk and dawn and requiring 24-hour armed security at other establishments with a history of violent crime. Sponsored by Mayor Jerome Prince, City of Gary, Cozy Weatherspoon, Councilman of the Second District.
Councilman Brewer,
Mr. President, I move for this to go back to committee, with a committee hearing held on September the 14th, I'm sorry, at 5 p.m.
Second.
it's been moved by Councilman Brewer and seconded by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell. Questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins,
Yes.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
abstain,
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes.
and President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 6 yes, 1 abstention.
With 6 yeas and 1 abstention, CPO 2021-49 is postponed with a committee meeting to be held on September 14th, 2021.
CPO 2021-52, an ordinance allocating funds to the FEP grant budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021, ending June 30th, 2022. Sponsored by Mayor Jerome A. Prince, City of Gary, Malik Harper, City Controller.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Brown,
I move for passage of CPO 2021-52 on third and final reading.
Second.
it's been moved by Councilwoman Brown and seconded by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell. And Mr. Harper, are you doing the overview?
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
The City of Gary Health Department is a recipient of a grant funds for the Indiana State Department of Health in the amount of $52,920 for the fiscal year of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. It's necessary to allocate funds for the budget entries which are listed within this ordinance.
Any questions or discussion from Mr. Harper? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins,
Yes.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
yes,
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes.
and President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 7-0.
With a vote of 7-0, CPO 2021-52 passes and is so ordered.
CPO 2021-53, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petitioner LaShondra Laster, 365 Polk Street, Gary, Indiana. Property 365 Polk Street, Gary, Indiana.
Councilman Brewer.
Mr. President, I move for passage of CPO 2021-53.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Brewer and seconded by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell. We'll have the overview at this time. Who will be providing the overview?
I will. Steve Jenkins from the Law Department.
Okay, Attorney Jenkins. Thank you.
I also know that LaShondra Laster, the petitioner, might be not a panelist at the moment. I'm not sure if she needs to be promoted to be able to speak, just in case there are questions. I can't see her in the attendee spot. I'm not sure if she's on a cell phone or something like that.
So, what's her name again?
LaShondra Laster.
Okay, media team, please be on the lookout.
So far, she's not.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay. CPO 2021-53 is a petition for use variance to operate an office space on the property at 365 Polk Street. LaShondra Laster is the petitioner. Property is going to be, there's going to be a tenant on the property that's planned, Client Consciousness Care LLC, which will use the property. The business there will be servicing veterans. That's the plan for the property at this moment. This petition was before the BZA on July 21st, 2021. At that time, it was approved. The staff recommendation declared that it did meet the use variance criteria that was satisfied. For that reason, staff recommendation was to approve, and the BZA did so approve on July 21st, 2021. There were notices sent out to neighboring homeowners. No responses were received. That is basically the overview, unless there's more from the petitioner.
Okay, any questions from council members or comments?
Mr. President, I had one.
Councilman Lay?
What service will they provide to veterans? Do you happen to know that?
I know they'll be servicing veterans. The petitioners here, they can provide more detail on that.
This is Roger Falsing from SCORE. I've been working with LaShondra, and I might be able to answer that question. LaShondra's company is Client Conscious Care Limited. She is providing home care to individuals. Particularly, her target is veterans that meet criteria for a Veterans Administration program. This will offer them aid for assistance for, say, getting out of bed, dressing. She'll be offering light housekeeping and also companionship.
And the VA is paying for this?
The VA pays the veteran, and then she is then compensated by the veteran.
Thank you. I think the petitioner is on. Your hand is up, Ms. Swerd. Would you like to speak? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be working alongside Ms. Laster, and we'll not only be servicing the vet, but also their spouse. So not only would we be doing companionship and light housekeeping, but we'll also be doing some light home care. It's a lot of vets that are not aware of the benefits that they can receive through the VA. So those are the people that will be going out servicing and allowing them, you know, the extra benefits through the agency.
So you go to the veteran, is that correct?
Yes, the veterans and their spouses.
Yes, but I would assume if the veteran is deceased, you wouldn't service the spouse, would you?
That is, we may be able to service their spouse if the vet is deceased.
You would have inform the VA? Is that?
Yes, but it's not.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's through the VA, but it's one of those silent benefits that, the vet are not aware that they're allowed to get.
Who refers the veteran to you? I'm a little unclear how this takes place. How do you get a hold of the veteran?
We'll be going out and petitioning for vets. Like there's a rodeo in September. We will be having, we're allowed to have some slight advertising. So we'll be going out to, like I said, there's a vet rodeo on September 18th or next month that we'll be trying to go and recruit vets and their family members.
Do the Veteran Administration give you a list of those, let's say, in the area?
We have been researching how many vets are in Northwest Indiana on our own.
Well, if you're doing light housekeeping for veterans and their spouses, you can just give me a call because I could use some.
And we will. But we are aware that a lot of our advertisement will be going through word of mouth. Yes. But we are out and we're working. We've both been in healthcare for a combination of 30 plus years. So we are in situations where we'll meet people who are vets, and we are getting into, becoming more aware of, where the vets are located.
Okay.
What's the size of your organization?
Well, right now it's a startup business. So we are recruiting now. Like we have about 5 already.
When would you, again, I'm in favor of what you're doing. I just don't think it's enough information for people maybe listening in. When do you anticipate first serving a veteran?
We plan to go into our first home on October 5th.
Now, Councilwoman Brown indicated she, of course, her husband is a veteran. What's the eligibility of a veteran?
The Korean War is it's a certain age group, and it's like the Korean War, World War II, and I forget the third one, but it's the older vets. It's not like the newer vets, and they have to have been honorably discharged.
So you're talking about the veterans of foreign wars then?
Yes.
So just a normal veteran such as myself couldn't receive your service. I wasn't in Korea or any other war, but I am a veteran.
It's unclear if the definition is to be in theater or whether it's being served during that era. That has to be further defined. But Reed correctly, it's offered for veterans above the age of 65 that have either served in the World War II, Vietnam War, or Korean War timeframe.
Okay.
A 65-year-old veteran wouldn't have served in any of those.
They'd be over 65.
Way over 65 to get in there.
The 65 is a minimum.
Okay, that's no more questions, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Councilman Lay. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins,
Yes.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes,
President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 7-0.
With a vote of 7-0, CPO 2021-53 passes and is so ordered.
CPO 2021-54, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Use, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petitioner is Ron Woods, 1650 Virginia Street, Gary, Indiana, property at 1650 Virginia Street, Gary, Indiana.
Councilman Brewer?
Is the petitioner on before I go any further? And I asked that question because at the committee meeting, the petitioner was not there.
I see Ronald Woods in the attendee section, yes.
Okay. Can we make sure we add him to the panelists? At that point, I'll move for passage of CPO 2021-54.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Brewer and seconded by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell. We'll have the overview at this time. Is that you as well, Attorney Jenkins?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
All right. CPO 2021-54 is a petition for a use variance to operate a retail store on this property. Historically, it had been previously used as a business, but due to a number of different issues, it had fell out of use. And now the purpose of this variance is to bring it back in line with the historic use and the neighboring areas. This petition was before the Board of Zoning Appeals on July 21st, 2021. The staff recommendation was to approve. It did satisfy the use variance criteria. For that reason, the staff recommendation was to approve, and the BZA did so approve. Notices went out to the neighboring homeowners. No responses were received. And I believe that's all I have for the overview. I'll turn it over to the petitioner if he has anything more to add.
Mr. Woods? Thank you, Attorney Jenkins.
All right.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Yeah, I'm just, the store is named after my mother, in honor of her and my younger brother. It's called L&A's Convenience Store. My mother's name was Lene, my brother's name was Andre. It's just the feel of it is like gonna be like a mom and pops type corner store. We're gonna be doing a lot of things in the community, trying to give back to the community. You know, I was born and raised in Gary, so I'm just trying to give back and do something and just extend the legacy that my grandfather started when he first got here from Mississippi. That's his building. He passed it down to my father. My father's passing it down to me. So I'm trying to make use of that corner and build a community back up in our city.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Any questions for Attorney Jenkins or the petitioner, Mr. Woods?
no question.
Uh,
I yield to
All right.
Councilwoman.
Thank you,
Atkins.
Councilman
Councilman.
Atkins and then Councilman Lay.
Slow, so my money's kind of slow right now. So it's a slow progress, but we've got a lot done on the inside. The outside will be done toward the end of the year. We're gonna put new glass in the front and take the cardboard down. We're gonna have the corner looking nice.
All right.
No
Any
other
other-
other questions.
Thank you.
President,
Councilman Barnes Caldwell.
did this used to be a candy store before?
Yeah,
long
my
time ago.
dad had started a candy store now. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Was this also the hardware?
Hardware.
I'm sorry.
Was this the hardware store before also?
No, it's never been. The hardware store was up the street. I
on the
remember the
other
hardware store you're talking about. I grew up across the street from the store. My grandfather's store used to be another like little grocery store across the street from it. Me and my parents stayed upstairs from there. So, it's just a lot of history there. I'm just trying to bring that corner back to life.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions for the petitioner? We can now go back to our regular screen. All right, seeing and hearing none. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Atkins,
Yes.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
You're muted.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes,
and President Godwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 7-0.
Thank you.
With a
Welcome.
vote of 7-0, CPO 2021-54 passes and is so ordered. I had a previous commitment to participate in a CLE for my law license when this was scheduled on our non-usual day. So Councilwoman Atkins will now take over as Vice President. Thank you.
Madam President, ends pending ordinances and resolutions on third and final.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council pending ordinance on second reading.
CPO 2021-55, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petitioner Bianca Jones, 4133 East 11th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. Property at 4133 East 11th Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
Madam President, is it all right if I do both of them together?
There's no objection.
CPO 2021-56, an ordinance amending Title 15 entitled Land Usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petitioner Bianca Jones, 1324 East 39th Avenue, Gary, Indiana. Property at 1324 East 39th Avenue, Gary, Indiana.
Councilman Brewer?
Madam President, the Planning and Development Committee would like to send CPO 2021-55 and 56 to committee August the 10th at 5:30 p.m. and a public hearing. Well, I'll wait till we get to that. I don't know how I'm gonna flow. Yes.
Second.
We could set your public hearing for the 17th, Councilman.
Okay. So a public hearing, August the 17th at 6 p.m.
Has been moved by Councilman Brewer and second by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
yes,
and President Atkins.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 6-0.
With a vote of 6 yes, 0 no's, CPO 2021-55 and CPO 2021-56 both have been sent to the Planning Development Committee with a meeting set for August the 10th at 5:30 via Zoom and the public hearing August 17th at 6 p.m. via Zoom.
CPR 2021-09, a resolution of the Gary Common Council approving and accepting the transfer of a tower ladder truck from the City of Valparaiso Fire Department, sponsored by Mayor Jerome A. Prince, City of Gary.
Madam President,
Councilman Brewer?
I make a motion to suspend the rules and pass on all three readings, CPR 2021-09.
Second.
It has been moved by Councilman Brewer and second by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell to suspend the rules to consider CPR 2021-09 on all three readings. Is there any discussion?
yes, I had a question. Is anyone going to be able to tell us the condition of this fire truck with someone on from the fire department?
It's a good question, Councilman.
Yes, we do have representatives on from the fire department at this time.
Is that Chief Everett?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll call for roll. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown, Councilwoman Brown,
You're on mute, Councilwoman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes.
and President Atkins.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 6-0.
With a vote of 6 in the affirmative, 0 no's, CPR 2021-09 will be considered tonight on all 3 readings. Madam Clerk?
So at this time, make a motion for passage on third and final for CPR 2021-09.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Brewer and second by Councilwoman Barnes Caldwell to pass CPR 2021-09 on third and final.
Chief Everett, you on at
Yes,
this
sir.
time?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Chief
can.
Everett, can we have the overview at this time?
Currently, we did have the vehicle inspected. There's going to be a few minor repairs that are going to need done. We just have to replace the radiator in it, and other than that, it's in excellent condition.
Councilman Lay, do you have any additional questions for
Yeah,
Chief Everett?
what year is the vehicle?
It's a 2003.
Currently, it's not in use. Is that correct?
No, it's not being used by. It was in use by Valparaiso up until the fall of last year when they replaced it with a newer version for themselves.
Do you happen to know the mileage on this vehicle?
It's about 53,000 miles.
What is the normal expectancy of use out of a vehicle like this in terms of mileage?
Well, for us, we probably expecting to get about 5 years of use out of it, provided there's no major breakdowns or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Lay. Chief Everett, just to confirm, did you say it's a 2003 or 1993?
I want to say 1993. That's what it is. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay, because you indicated 2003.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I misspoke. Yes, 1993. But with the low mileage, and it has been inspected by our vehicle maintenance department, and currently they stated that the only repairs that's going to be needed is the replacement of the radiator.
Any additional questions? Discussion? Seeing or hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes.
and President Atkins.
Yes.
Madam President, the vote is 6-0.
With a vote of 6 yes, 0 no's, CPR 2021-09 has passed on third reading.
Madam President, and pending ordinance and resolutions on second reading.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Madam President?
Councilman Brewer?
Madam President, yes, we had an ordinance that was being tabled, CPO 2020-80. That's an ordinance of the Gary County Council providing a hearing and public comments of the transfer of sales of certain property formerly owned by GUEA. I move that we take this off the table, and I send this also to committee August the 10th at 5:30 p.m. with other ordinances.
So it has been moved and properly moved by Councilman Brewer and properly second by Councilwoman Mary Brown. Do we need to have a discussion related to that at this time? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for the roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Brewer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell,
Yes.
Councilman Lay,
Yes.
President Atkins.
Yes.
Madam President, vote is 6-0.
With a vote of 6 yes, 0 no, CPO 2020-80 has been sent to our Planning and Development Committee, which take place on Tuesday, August the 10th at 5:30 via Zoom. Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, if any council members, well,
more activities for the young people and dancing. We had activities for our senior citizens. We want to have more vendors out, make it bigger and better. We received some feedback from some of our employees as well as some of the residents that attended, and we plan on taking all of those and incorporating them into next year's program. Also on August 11th, which is 1 week from today, we are going to have the City of Gary Employees Appreciation Day at the Gary Railcat Stadium. So we invite all of our city employees, and that's including the Gary Sanitary District, to come out on next Wednesday. The game starts at 7:10. The mayor will give us a few words prior to the game beginning. So plan to arrive around 6:30. There will be reduced price hot dogs, and you'll have a chance to win a number of valuable prizes in a raffle. So we want to take this opportunity to show the City of Gary employees how much we appreciate them, and the past 20 months, how difficult it's been for everyone with the COVID-19 pandemic, a change in administration. We know this has been one for the history books, and we want to take that day to show our deep appreciation for everyone. That concludes the mayor's report, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Council members, any questions for our Attorney McCain, Deputy Mayor?
No question. I just want to say, Madam President, I know I talked about at the last meeting about paving in the city, and paving have started inside the city. I want to give an update of the streets, and I didn't get a chance to give that update of street for the public use, but I'll make sure I do that at the next council meeting. But paving has started inside the city. Oh, and one thing I do want to bring to everyone's attention, because I did have questions when we had in the planning commission meeting when we talked about paving, was the 15th Avenue from 15th, from the toll road bridge all the way down to 15th and Clay. If you're looking from the toll road bridge coming on 15th all the way back to Martin Luther King, you will see that it's not paved, and it will not be paved because there's a lot of engineering work that needs to be done, which is a pretty pricey price tag on there. But the administration is looking to have that done, I believe, in 2023. That's when they're scheduling, trying to get that done. If it can happen earlier, that is the plan, to pave it earlier. But that's all concrete on that side there, so it costs a lot more money to put more concrete down than asphalt. So if you see where they paved one side, because I did have questions too, where one side of 15 was paved and not the other side, which I thought was probably the worst side, that's the reason why. But they are looking to pave the other side pretty much in 2023. If funding's coming in earlier, they'll pave it next year, but it's looking like 2023, realistic. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember. I do have one comment, and Attorney McCain, if we can connect offline, I just wanted to see if you can help me get a response from your Director of Constituent Service, Shanita Starks, related to some requests that a specific group within the 4th District had asked for support on. We've been having trouble getting a response. And so I would like to just follow up with you and send you those email correspondence to see if we can get back to them, because they were very vocal in our last meeting about not receiving a response back from the executive branch. So I would ask for your help with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Councilman Lay?
Madam President, I have a question for the Deputy Mayor. On the first responders, in terms of, I believe it's one of the buckets, when do you anticipate being able to tell us whether you're going to do flat or a percentage in terms of how you will take care of the firemen, police, health department, and anyone else that worked during that pandemic?
I will have to confer with our financial consultant, Mr. Sender, to see if those calculations have been completed. with respect to the difference between a flat essential payment for all of our, a flat premium payment for all of our essential employees, or whether or not a percentage would be more economically feasible. So I will check with Mr. Sender on the progress of that calculation, and I'll let you know, Councilman Lay.
The next meeting, if you know by then, that would be fine. There's no big hurry on it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll push to get that answer by then.
Thank you, Councilman Lay. Thank you. Attorney McCain, I do have one question. I'm just following up from our Ways and Means meeting last week. At this time, does the administration have an update as to when the mayor's town halls or whatever structure we want to have additional community engagement will take place? I know it's only been a week, but do we have a schedule at this moment?
Not yet, Madam President. We did discuss it this week in terms of putting the dates together, but we haven't finalized those dates or the locations just yet.
Okay.
We are going to spread it out throughout the city and try to hit each district, but we haven't finalized those dates yet. And we will certainly be working with the Councilmatic District members before settling on a date. So before we can present that to you, for example, in the 4th District, we're still working some things out internally with respect to those town hall dates.
Okay, thank you. So to the public, mayor's town halls related to the ARPA funds and input is still in the pipeline, as Attorney McCain just mentioned. But in the meantime, you can submit your input for consideration utilizing the email address that we communicated in our Ways and Means Committee meeting last week. That email address is ARPA, is ARPA, input@gary.gov. And again, the council will collect that information, then share that with our leadership on the executive branch for our consideration as we work together to devise the plan for the city. Also, we did note in that meeting last week that there will be a survey available on the GaryCommonCouncil.org website. I did have an issue with constructing the survey, but we will get that up by the end of this week. And so that on the
No, not yet. I did know that we received that information later in the day yesterday. The Public Works Director reached out to the companies today to find out an answer. I did ask her whether or not she had heard anything before the council meeting started, and I haven't heard anything back from her. But the moment that I do, I will reach out to you and let you know what we've learned. But what I can tell you is that we weren't aware of those barriers being removed either. So we're trying to get to the bottom of it as soon as possible.
Okay, because you know that's a hazard to the city, to the residents, everyone.
Without question. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, I got one more thing. A couple of residents over the weekend. It seems the motorcycle club on 21st and Broadway, when they are gathering, they seem to take the cones and place them in the street and make people coming down the street merge into the next lane. So and when people say, oh, well, the police know, they drive by and see it. I need them to start doing something about it because it makes absolutely no sense. I can't say that they actually saw it, but I ride around and I do a lot of things, and I send it and I share it with code enforcement. And then when I asked about these different people going to court or anything, it's not happening. I don't know why it's not happening when I'm out taking pictures and sending you the information. You know, at some point we need to start doing what we're supposed to do. I was coming down Massachusetts today. I got right there by Save More, and I looked down for a second and looked back up, and there's a car coming straight at me. You know, we don't know what one-way streets are anymore. You know, some of the signs, maybe they need to be, I guess, put up again, or, you know, I don't know. We have a lot of problems right now going on in the city that we need to address and look at.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Councilwoman. I will reach out to the police commanders to see if they were made aware of that traffic issue this past weekend on 21st and Broadway, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll find out and then I'll report back to you and let you know. Oh, I'm sorry. The chief just notified me that the 3D riders did obtain a permit to block off the street 2 weeks ago. But if this was just this past weekend, then that would not have included this past weekend. But 2 weeks ago, they were issued a permit to block off 21st Avenue for one weekend event. And that was 2 weeks ago, but not last weekend.
Okay,
I will check into that as well.
thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Brown, you're on mute.
Attorney McCain, on 15th Avenue, little bit west of Jerry Street. I don't know what they're doing in there. Have you driven past there? The NIPSCO trucks and all these other trucks that are in there, what are they doing? And people who live around there are asking me, and of course I can't answer because I don't know what they're doing either. And I see all this activity that's going on. Do you know, are you familiar with the area that I'm talking about?
Oh, I'm certainly familiar with that area. I'm a proud graduate of Westside High School, 1991. But
Okay.
I haven't been by there in a while, Councilwoman Brown. So what I'll do is I'll drive by there tomorrow, take a look at the markings on the trucks, and then reach out to our direct contacts with those agencies and find out what's going on.
Okay.
It might be staging for another project that's nearby, but I don't want to say anything that's not factually accurate. I'll find out as soon as tomorrow and let you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Thank you, Attorney McCain. Council members, any other additional comments?
Madam President,
Councilman Brewer?
I make a motion for adjournment.
Well, at this time, I was gonna, we did have a couple of members from the public,
Oh, okay.
so,
I was trying.
yeah, I know. So we are going to extend that courtesy. So we had two members of the public who did sign up to speak. The first person is Mr., and I hope I'm not gonna butcher this last name, Sewazuli.
Hello?
Are you present?
I think if you're talking about Kwabena,
Governor, yes.
How do you say the last name?
Razuli.
I think that's what I said. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you were close. You were good.
Okay, so you may proceed with your comment.
Okay, a couple things concerning the Melvin Bullard case, the 82-year-old man who was shot in November 2019, died in January 2020. And finally, late last month, we got word that, or last month, we got word that the prosecutor's office, grand jury, and they decided not to press any charges against Brandon Henderson. This man was shot 10 times through his front windshield. When you read the report that this Lake County had, it pretty much looked like they were trying to prosecute a dead 82-year-old man who was shot by the police. It was kind of disgusting. However, it's also kind of troubling that it took us so long to get the name of Brandon Henderson. And we find out Brandon Henderson had domestic issues with the Hammond police. Has that been resolved? Is he still on the streets, working now as a policeman? And this transparency is not happening. And during this climate and this time, that's so unacceptable. So we need to see some changes with that. Also, we have an independent civilian review board that I'm sure the council has by now. If you don't, please let us know. Black Lives Matter has shared that several times. If you don't have it, we'll send it to you again. We need to make this happen. Even the prosecutor is in favor of this. So that's one thing that's still troubling us, that whole piece on this policeman who gets away with, again, shooting this man 10 times through his front windshield, an 82-year-old man. It was good to see the brother opening up the store on 17th and Malcolm X Boulevard. They showed a little map. I don't know if you guys saw it on that. I saw it. And I looked at a map. Some of the work we do, we have to look at flood maps. the ESRI, the Energy Service Research Institute, they produce these maps. They produce GIS mapping. And I hope the deputy mayor is still there, because he helped do this petition 20 years ago. And the previous mayor, Karen Freeman Wilson, as you all know, passed the executive order for not just Malcolm X Street, also Richard Hatcher on Grant Street. But the mapping that I see when I do my work, it shows in Gary, Indiana, Malcolm X Boulevard. Now, that is kind of troubling that even the governments and their documents have it and they show it, and we have not put the signs up yet. So we need some action on that. Our people need to see that and deal with that and understand that. Again, we appreciate the brother opening up the store. Truck facility. Now, when we see this in areas where there are some residents, this was done in the past before we knew any better, but we know better now. That facility that they're trying to put at that school is right smack dab in the middle of a residential area. So we need to be very careful and do the right thing on that one. And also that would set a bad precedence, because unfortunately we have so many abandoned schools. I know they're tearing down Lew Wallace now, there's other places. We do not want these sort of facilities in the middle of our residential areas. So let's work a little harder. We don't mind them coming in, but not there. We don't mind these places like that, light industrial coming in, but not in the middle of our communities. Last piece, you guys passed a resolution several years ago condemning the ratchet killer radio stations, Power 92.3, which is Crawford Broadcasting, and also WGCI, which is iHeart, No Heart. We call them No Heart Radio. We really appreciate that. But we still need to put the pressure on them. We need to know the condition of the 1-year-old baby and the 19-year-old brother. I haven't heard what happened with the baby. But we also know, speaking of the baby and little baby and this type of music that's being force-fed continuously to our children, it tells us to spray down blocks and to shoot people indiscriminately. And that's all that's force-fed to our youth. And we're doing what we can, but we need elected officials, we need clergy, we need everybody to get on this with us, because only Black people are subject, and only our children, because we don't listen to it, but our children listen. I know my time's gone, but we need to look at that and do something about that. So I appreciate the time, but yeah, we need some other work for the people, y'all. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so much. The next public comment we have is from Mr. Emmett Mosley. And you are recognized at this time for 3 minutes.
Okay, first of all, I would just like to thank you for this opportunity. And I don't want to rehash things, but I think it's very complicated how the city council meeting is being televised. I got on after 6 o'clock, so I don't know what the problem is. I do many Zooms a week, 5 and 6 times or more a week, and I don't understand the complication that we have with the Zoom in terms of knowing where do you go to get on Zoom, where do you go to get the information, and I applaud your secretaries who I call all the time to try to get updated information on how to get on, and it is not easy. I still don't see it in my email where it was supposed to have been sent to me, but I still applaud their effort to even listening to me. I just want to say that I've been asking, I was deeply perplexed that there was a meeting last week on this federal government money, and that I was not given the information about it happening, because I call constantly trying to get information on this. It's a lot of money that's coming our way, and it seems like I'm always perplexed that we're in this city with its historic the historic aspects of it, and it seems like we're no different than other cities where the racial makeup is different. I don't understand that. Hey, I was a public official myself, but I've been in this arena for many years, so I don't understand our complicated communication that we have. We should be letting all kinds of people know about this money so that they can you go on that website and you try to find out, unless you're a technology genius, how to respond to that to the emails and the site to give your input about this money. Hey, it's nice that you got that you got those 4 boxes. That's nice, but hey, folks all over this country is using that money in all kinds of ways. And we have met with the mayor, talked to the mayor about utilizing that money for cameras for police and things of that nature. And I would encourage us to stop talking like we really are concerned about how African Americans are being treated by the police, and if we do nothing about it. And that's the impression that I'm getting, that we're doing nothing about it. We're saying nothing about it.
Hi,
But
Madam President.
I just say that that we just gotta do better. We should be putting it all out there, flyers, advertisement, to let people know that you need to come to this meeting to and give us ideas about this.
Okay, Mr. Mosley, your time is up.
All right. I thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I do want to announce at this time, that was the last public comment that we had in terms of signups. But at this time, I do want to announce to the council members as well as to the public that we will be having an executive session on Tuesday, August the 10th at 5 p.m. directly before our committee meetings to discuss the pending litigation. So again, this upcoming Tuesday, August the 10th at 5 p.m. executive session, for council members.
Will that be in person only, Madam President?
Councilman Lay.
Will that be in person only? How will that executive session be conducted?
We would do the hybrid approach. So we would do.
It will have to be.
It had to be in person?
Yes, for it to be executive session and be. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Dorr.
It's, in person only?
Yes, Councilman Lay.
Okay.
Madam President, I do want to just respond to one of the comments that one of the petitioners has talked about having a hard way to get onto the meeting. Since we've been doing Zoom, I think our staff has been doing a good job of making sure that they include the web ID and the passcode to all agenda items. So it's all on the agenda as it's posted throughout City Hall. It's on there. I know we put it on our council Facebook page. I even try and share it a lot of times myself. So the web ID and the passcode is on the agendas. So for anyone that wants to know how to get on.
I want to ask a question. I just got a text message from our president.
Okay.
So Attorney Williams, could you confirm if we can have a hybrid approach for the executive session as long as the council member has their camera on and we don't, broadcast it? Is that appropriate?
I guess the short answer is you can. It's a much more secure process if you do it in person.
Okay.
But of course you can.
Yeah, I believe we had this discussion before about having executive session. How can the information be really locked in with the ones that's there?
Okay.
It's no one, I may have my camera on, but I can sit at home. I can have my entire family or group of folks in the background. So I think it's very sensitive what we're talking about. So that's why I think it should be in person.
Okay. So I'll receive that and we'll stand as was stated in person. Okay. If there is no additional comments from council members, I will entertain a motion for adjournment at this time. Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Meeting adjourned.